Hi people, so today I thought it would be a great idea to do this video that I just came up with. I jotted a bunch of shit down on my notes, and yeah, I thought it would be a thing because the times I'm in and you know the times just the world is in. I felt like this would be like a good video. Call it like my stance on these like political hot topics right now and stuff like that. This is going to be like a mix between things here in the UK and things in the US. So I've been getting into both like UK politics because I live in the UK and US politics because I'm like, I don't know, thinking of living in the US if it gets better hopefully. And yeah, and plus like the US, you know, political stories are just shoved down everyone's throat. So how can you get away from them? So yeah, so I just jotted down a bunch of stuff and I'm just gonna quick fire through them. I'm not gonna explain them too much. I'll give a little blurbs to like each of them, obviously, because otherwise you wouldn't know my stance. First is raising the minimum wage. I think we should raise the minimum wage here in the UK to £10 an hour and in the US $15 an hour. I think it's just a no-brainer. People should be getting paid £7.50, £7.25. Like, it's just terrible. It is terrible. And I also think that teenagers doing the same job as an adult should get paid the same amount, because companies aren't dumb. They'll employ people. They'll employ younger people, like under 21-year-olds or 18-year-olds. Like, there's different laws in, you know, US and the UK, but in the UK, like, you can pay, I do the same job as someone who's like, I don't know, 25, and I can get paid £7.50 and they can get paid £9. Like, what? We're doing the same exact job. And they think, oh well, their defense is, well, you know, teenagers don't have to pay bills and stuff like that, and you know, they don't have costs and stuff like that. And that's not true. Every teenager is not in the same situation. At the end of the day, if we're doing the same job, we should be getting paid the same amount. It's just a no-brainer. So right now in the UK, well, I think it's dying down a bit, hopefully. This year, knife crime has like spiked up again, and for years it was going down, like you barely heard about it, and it wasn't happening for so long. Like, if you're in the UK, you can know, and you like watch the news, you know that knife crime wasn't being reported that much, and because it wasn't happening as much. And the reason why it's been happening more is because they've cut all funding to all the youth groups. I go to a youth group and it's now private, and you know, it gets funding from different companies privately, but like, it was going to close and we had to protest for it, and the government gave no funding to the youth group. And the thing is, people like to say, oh well, these youth groups don't do nothing, but you can see by the statistics, you can see that knife crime was going down, now it's gone back up, and the only thing that's changed is the fact that government's cut funding to youth groups. The thing is, a lot of the kids that like are involved in knife crime, they're like at-risk kids, and those youth groups give them a chance. They tutor them, they help them keep busy, they help them with homework, exams, GCSEs, all of that things, just so they can like keep busy. Because if they can't be in the youth group and can't keep busy, even if they're at a youth group like like 5 days a week or 3 days a week, they're gonna want to do that, carry on doing that work at home and stuff like that, instead of roaming on the streets. But if no one wants to be at home 24/7, so if it's either be in the youth group or be in the streets. And if the youth groups are cut, then where else do they have to go? Be in the streets. Exactly. It's a no-brainer situation. No, you can't just say, oh, they don't do nothing. Look at the facts, okay? It was going down. They cut the funding for youth group. Now it's come back up. Like, how could it be any more simpler? I think the voting age should be raised should be lowered to 16, because like, I started working at 16 and I can't vote. Like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you let me work but you won't let me vote. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think 16-year-olds should be able to vote. It's not a thing. Like, you can't turn around and be like, they're kids but they're not kids because we're gonna make them work and, you know, exploit them and pay them barely anything. Like, what? Make up your mind. Make up your mind. I think from the age of 16 you should be able to vote in all elections. Drugs, I think we should legalize and regulate drugs, and people can buy them and use them for recreational use. Once you legalize and regulate drugs, people won't have to buy them on the black market, and there'll be less deaths from drug use, because there'll be less, like, when people buy drugs from black market, they're always putting other shit in there that the person who bought it didn't expect to be in there. They get laced with stuff, and there's more deaths due to drug use. And if the drugs are legal and they're regulated, then people won't have to buy them from black market, and then there won't be as many overdoses, won't be as many deaths. Next one is period products. I think period products should be free in all public toilets, and also pharmacies. I don't know if the pharmacies and the chemists and stuff like that are the same in the US, but I'm speaking specifically UK for like what I know, because I don't know about that in the US. But if I can walk into a pharmacy here in the UK and get condoms, then I should be able to walk into that same pharmacy and get pads or a tampon. Like, no brainer. Like, periods you can't control. You can control whether you're gonna have sex. Like, what? And plus, like, homeless people who have periods, like, they can't, like, where are they meant to get a pad from? Pads in the store are so expensive, and then you can't even get free pads anywhere. No. Make them free in public toilets and chemists. On to America, ICE. Fuck ICE. There is already customs and border control, which regulates the border and keeps everything well. ICE is just, it's not needed. It's not needed, okay? And no one's calling for all the open borders, but ICE, no. Solitary confinement, terrible. Oh my god, so many inmates have killed themselves due to being in solitary confinement, and they put in, oh my god, sometimes prisons are so just like disgusting and inhumane. Like, they put in people that they know have mental dispositions, and they put them in solitary confinement, and, like, you know, days later or weeks later they killed themselves. And it's just like a terrible thing. Like, I'm all about people getting punished for the crimes they did, but just putting them in solitary confinement when it has such damaging psychological effects is just, oh my god, it's beyond torture. And plus, it costs the US taxpayer $75,000 per year, and that might have risen. That's just like on average. Abortion. I think everyone should have the right to have abortion in every single country. That's just my stance. Everyone should have a right to abortion. It's the person's body. If they want to have abortion, they should have abortion, as long as it's within the amount of days that the fetus hasn't, like, grown into like an embryo. I don't know all the terms, but yeah, as long as it's under those days and it's during the right period and they get it as quick as possible, then they should be able to have an abortion. If someone calls the police on someone for something that isn't a crime, they should be fined for wasting police time. A lot of white people have done this over the course of this year, and it's just getting out of hand. And it's been going on forever. It's just like we have phones and now we can document it and see, like, the shit that's going on. And yeah, I think they should be fine, because they are wasting police time, and police, they get like hundreds of calls every single day. If people are calling about things that aren't crimes, then they should be fine, because they're wasting police's time. It shows the reason, like a lot of people know the situation with police brutality and they don't want to admit to it, and it's just crazy. Like, wait, I'm going to show you a video right now.
Here you have a nice white doctor getting arrested in a fairly aggressive manner, in a way that most people of color are all too familiar with. He gets pepper sprayed, tossed on the ground, and finally... Treat me like a black person! Why you got your gun pointed at me, because you're not white?
I've just seen way too many videos of cops. But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people.
That is a crazy video. Like, if you listen to the shit that they said, it's a crazy fucking video. And it's just like, they now know the fear. They always knew, like, we had fear of the police, but now they know the level of fear, and now they, like, see it, and now they're using it against us. And it's just like, you do anything that's not to their, like, taste, and they'll just call the police on you, and they'll be like, you know what, I know they're scared of the police. I know that these police could come here and kill them, even if I say, like, they were making noise. because it's happened before. Like literally a white woman called the police on a black guy, and he was in his house listening to music. He was listening to like Drake in his garage, and they shot him 3 times through the garage door. Tell me how police can say, you know, I felt a threat to my life through a garage door. What? How, like, what could he do to you through the garage door? They know it, they know what's happening, and now they just weaponize it. And the police are just like gonna sit back and be like, "Nah, my business, you know what, I'm just doing my job." So yeah, they should definitely get fined because it will put them off a bit. Oh yeah. Next one is gun control. I believe in like sensible gun control. I'm so happy there aren't legalized guns in the UK. I'm so fucking happy. But in the US, I think they should raise the age to 21, and I think they should go like under intense training, psychological training, to make sure that they're fit to own a gun. And I think if they have had any mental illnesses at all, they shouldn't be allowed a gun. They shouldn't be allowed a gun, and they shouldn't be automatic rifles and stuff like that. The guns that they use during wars should not be able to be purchased and should not be used in everyday life for hunting. No, like we don't need those types of guns for hunting. Also, if they've been convicted of like violent crimes like more than once, then I don't think they should be able to get a gun, because if they've been convicted on violent crimes, beating, you know, domestic violence, you know, having fights and stuff like that, assault and stuff like that, then it obviously shows that they have some anger issues. So if they're after that being convicted twice of 2 separate, you know, violent crimes, and then they get a gun, I'm not trying to be like a negative person, but the next thing they could do is so easily, you know, shoot someone down. So, you know, it's just like preventative. All trans and non-binary people should have the same rights that everyone else has. HRT should be free, and life-saving surgeries for trans people should be free as well. Gender-neutral bathrooms should be in every public place, school, restaurant, building, workplace. Either, because you know what, I don't know, I guess some places, some restaurants, schools and stuff like that, they have the type of toilets that are like these, like many stalls, and then there's mirrors outside of it. If they don't want to like get rid of or refurbish those toilets, they can just add in a separate one like toilet that's just gender neutral, and it says gender neutral or has sign, it's like men's/women or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just like, either make one separate gender neutral toilet, so anyone who doesn't feel comfortable using toilets or doesn't feel like just dealing with dumb cis people or anyone who doesn't feel like dealing with transphobic people can use that gender neutral toilet, or make it like just all separate stalls and make one man, one woman and one gender neutral. Or do basically, when you have those toilets, you can keep those 2, but get rid of the men woman sign and put urinals, toilets. So now no one can go up and be like, complain, this person was in this toilet, this person was in the toilet, because you know what, that doesn't matter. This is urinal, anyone can use a urinal if they want to use a urinal. These are the toilets, just toilets, anyone can just use the toilets. And then no one can try and make false accusations, try and victimize trans people about the toilets when you read the sign and that sign said toilets and I can use the toilet. So no one, and then it just, oh my god, it will just give some dignity back to trans people. Oh gosh, they're all gender neutral in our houses, no one complains, everyone has a jolly old time. You're not gonna, if your friend comes to your house, you're gonna be like, wait, that's the male toilet. Like, you know what I mean? Here in the UK, I don't know if they're changing it yet, or people are trying to keep them from changing it. I bet they haven't changed it yet because they take forever to change things, usually. Everywhere does, I guess. But for trans people to legally change their gender, they have to like stand in front of a panel and shit and like talk to like these random strangers, trying to analyze them, trying to be like, should I let them be the gender that they are? Like, it's crazy. Like, what the fuck? It's actually like, what the fuck? And people should be able to self-identify. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you're just standing in front of a bunch of fucking strangers that already have ulterior motives. Just, oh man, it's just, what? Like, what? It's just the weirdest thing ever. Oh my god. You have to spend 2 years in your gender before they consider you for anything. Consider you for HRT, before they consider you for surgeries, and it's just like, what? And the questions they ask you are just like, what? And the fact that, sorry, but I'm just so pressed about this. The surgeries cost so much. Yeah, none of the surgeries like are covered by the NHS, okay? So for them to ask you all these fucking invasive questions, being like, but are you really who you say you are? You're gonna pay like up to like £10,000, but like, I don't know if you're really who you say you are. Like, what? Who in their right mind is gonna go get surgery and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds if they're not that gender? Like, what? Like, just think about it. Oh my god. I've got some last quickie ones that are just like, they're just like random opinions. I think America should stop giving so much money to the military. It's already got the biggest military base of all the countries. It could cut it by half and it would still be the biggest military base. They should use that money for healthcare, raising the minimum wage, and all other government programs that could help so many people. The current administration should stop giving tax cuts to the rich. They're already disgusting. They should, like, these big corporations shouldn't be able to go through loopholes to not pay any tax. Like, that should not be possible. Oh my god. And the last one, Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon. He's a disgusting, man. I've literally haven't used Amazon since I realized what he done. Like, oh, this guy, what's wrong with him? He needs to raise the wages of his workers and make the work conditions way better. Give them actual holidays, or give money to the government for the programs that so many of his workers use, like food stamps, because it's just, they're working full-time jobs but they can't afford groceries. No one should be working a full-time job and not be able to afford basic necessities. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, you know, that's all I could think about. All of the topics I can think of. And it's just, yeah. Oh, legalize sex work. Yep. And people need to stop conflating sex trafficking and sex work. Not the same thing. Legalize sex work. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave it a like. Yeah, I don't know if I'll do any more videos like this. I don't know. I'm feeling in a political mood lately, so we never know. Yeah, but thanks for watching. If you did like my opinions, you know, you think, you know, they're onto something, then, you know, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon, and yeah. If not, have a great day. Stay love with her, I promise you, and bye, people.
This feeling inside, emotions will swell, emotions will tide. This feeling inside, emotional swell, emotions can't hide. This feeling inside, emotions will swell, emotions will tide.